Welcome back to the Retro Wave. I am your host, El Tiburon. And this month, we're talking our favorite in-your-house matches. With me, I've got a special guest here. Returning from his little short hiatus, we got Mr. 24/7, Mr. One Night Dance, Sexy Chino. What's going on, Chino?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. No, YHs are great, man. It's like that was the old school. Remember, the original was actually they always said it was cheaper than ordering a pizza.
Was that the tagline?
Yes,
Is
yeah, it
that how
was
they
like,
sold it?
yeah, they sold it that way. Correct.
I don't remember that, but it sounds about right because I think was it so. This was actually your idea because I was telling you like I don't know what other wrestling, WWF podcast episodes we could do, and I think you said what about in your house? And not gonna lie, at first I was like, in your house, is there enough meat on the bone to do an episode? And I gotta tell you, I watched this little like DVD right here. I don't know if you own this. This little best of in your house, the 3-disc DVD. There's a lot of meat on the bone. There's a lot. There is. I didn't realize that in your house was around for that long.
Yeah, In Your House has been around since '95. Remember, it was like after WrestleMania. I believe WrestleMania 11 from Stanford. After yeah, so the first main event was Diesel versus Sid.
Yeah. Let me just give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. That Diesel versus Sid match, as much as I love Diesel, that match did not make my top 5. Spoiler
What a
alert.
disappointment! What a disappointment! Such a disappointment to Kevin Nash and R.I.P. to Sid. For that one.
To Sid. I'm even rocking the Diesel shirt, but man, I remember that match not being a good one. So that will not be in my top 5. But before we go forward and talk about in your house, Sexy Chino. This is episode 50 for the Retro Wave podcast. Did you know that? Have you been keeping count?
No, I actually haven't keeping count. I'm pretty sure you have, because you got to do the job yourself. It's like, so you got to know exactly what episode you have. I'm like,
First of all,
no,
heartbroken.
I don't watch it at like 50. So that means you're 50 away from 100, correct?
Yeah, exactly. First of all, I'm heartbroken that Sexy Chino has not been keeping count. But yeah, it's been 50, and that's that I kind of excluded, like anytime I did a movie review, like Ghostbusters, Resident Evil, I didn't count those because those are more like, 30-minute episodes, like very bonus episodes. I only counted like actual episodes, like the monthly ones. So it's 50 of those. And I remember I told you my goal is do 100. Just do 100 and then see if you're still having fun. And then we'll see where I go from there. But 50, man. You were on the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 3 years and a half. Time flies.
Truly, it's like time flies when you're having fun, as they say, right?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, but you were my first Sexy Chino, but you won't be my last.
That's a fact. Yeah. Hey, you came up with that. I didn't. Okay, think about it.
All right. So, yeah, that's before we go to because we're going to rank our 5 favorite matches like we always do from the In Your House pay-per-views. But before we get to that, like, let me ask you, because before In Your House, we had the big 4 and then we had like the big 5, right? We had Rumble, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, King of the Ring, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. And then all of a sudden we started getting these monthly pay-per-views in between called In Your House. What were do you remember as a kid, like what were your thoughts of In Your House?
I actually thought it was pretty cool because, like, you got to think about this. It's like WCW had more pay-per-views than WWF at the time.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How many did WCW have monthly ones at that time?
Yeah, I think they have more monthly ones because you got to think about like '93. They had Super Brawl. They have Starcade. I believe they had like like they have Starcade. I think they have Fall Brawl. So they had a decent amount compared to they only had like WWE only had like Royal Rumble. Yeah, WrestleMania. Literally just summertime and Survivor Series until they added the KOR,
Yeah, I mean, for a
the King
long
of the
time it
Ring.
was just like the four, and then I think it was it '93 they added King of the Ring. I think.
Yeah, the one with Bret Hart won the first one. It was like after WrestleMania 9 with Yokozuna facing taking the title and then losing it to Hogan
Yeah, yeah,
in Vegas.
yeah. Which what you said was, it was what was the slogan is cheaper than ordering a pizza. So this
Yeah,
was it
that yeah.
20 bucks?
So yeah, that's what I think they were trying to sell it for. Because remember, they weren't going to give you 3 hours; they were going to give you like about 2 hours, something.
Yeah, it was like a shorter monthly pay per view, and I don't. It was. I know. I think back in the day, the pay per views, the regular ones were like 50, right? And this one was like 20 bucks or something, or 25. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think the regular ones were like 40, maybe, because back in the old days, and then the other ones were like so it's like cut halfway. I guess that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was definitely cool. Like I had a lot of fun watching these because it was a lot of nostalgia because this is when I was actually this is when I was actually watching weekly Monday Night Raw, Superstars, Wrestling Challenge, Mania, WWF Mania, like all those shows. We've done episodes on like 80s stuff. Like I've said in the past, I wasn't watching 80s wrestling live when it was happening. I watched all that stuff on VHS. I went back and rented it. So this to me is more like I got a lot more nostalgia because I watched all the matches on my list. I watched them live. I don't know if the same for you because I know you were watching earlier than me. You were watching in the 80s.
Yeah, I was watching one of the original one. Like one of the main things about the In Your House name exactly is because they actually gave away a house. Remember that?
Oh yeah, Todd Pettingill and Stephanie, what was her name? Stephanie Wyand.
Stephanie Y. Yeah.
Yeah, they gave away a house, and then I was watching recently a video on YouTube where I guess they never even moved into the house, or they did and they sold it immediately or something. So that in your house got flipped. Oh man. All right. Well, let's. We're gonna take a little commercial break. We got to pay the sponsors, Sexy Chino, and we're gonna come back and rank our 5 favorite in your house matches.
Wow, the smoking gun.
We're live, folks. I pushed the wrong button.
Truly.
Wow, the smoking gun. It's an outrageous party at Killen's house. They don't know what it's like to be at the library.
What is going on in here?
Just watching TV, Mom.
WWF In Your House, live September 24th on pay-per-view.
And we're back. You remember this little theme, Sexy Chino? And one of the In Your
Yeah.
House themes?
I like the newer version that when they started doing the In Your House for NXT, they hipped it up. Those I like that one better. But
More-
this was cool.
Oh, I didn't know they did like a new version of this one.
Yeah, they did. They hipped it up for In Your House when they for NXT now, because NXT is using the In Your House name.
Yeah, I thought about that today. I was like, I guess we could have also counted technically NXT in your house matches because it is in your house. But I haven't watched any of them, so I didn't count them. I didn't count any of those. None of those are going to be on my list because as you know, if you've listened to this podcast, I am an old old fogey that still, clings on to the past. Old school WWF. But yeah, so this is what we're gonna do. We both pick our 5 favorite in your house matches, number 5 to number 1. Number 1 being our favorite. So I'm gonna go first. We're gonna go to my number 5 pick and have a little discussion of these matches here. Let's go to my number 5 pick.
A cage no one can enter.
Shawn Michaels has his date with destiny.
A hell no man can escape.
Undertaker, I'm gonna take you down, put you down, and bury you underneath that ring.
There's nowhere to run.
There's only one way out,
Nowhere to hide.
and that's over my dead body.
No one to stop the carnage.
Who the hell I am?
Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell.
I can never rest in peace.
WWF Bad Blood in your house, live this Sunday on pay-per-view.
Brought to you by PlayStation. Sexy Chino, back when it was just the PlayStation. Not even a number behind it. That's how old it is. Back when it was just the PlayStation. So in my number 5 pick, I have Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker from Bad Blood Hell in the Cell match. First ever Hell in the Cell match. So this is a very, I guess you would say, like revolutionary, iconic match because it was the first of its kind. We had arguably at the time, probably the greatest in-ring performer in Shawn Michaels. And I mean, Undertaker at that time, I think, was already established as he was a top guy. He was one of the top guys there. What can I say about this match? I remember watching this live with my friend Roger. I had a friend that lived a few blocks down the street. And he had the black box bootleg cable.
Oh, the black box.
So, you know what? All these In Your House pay-per-views, I think I saw him at his house. In his house. I watched the In Your House pay-per-views. Because he had the bootleg box. And I remember his mom was a big Shawn Michaels fan. And she would be rooting for Shawn Michaels. And, of course, I would be rooting against everybody Shawn Michaels was wrestling. But yeah, I remember like being kind of like shocked by this match because I had never seen anything like it. If you remember before this, it was the big blue steel cage, right? So this was like, what? This is like an actual fence, like a fence cage, right? Chain link fence. Very brutal. And rewatching it the other day, I was like, damn, this match still holds up. Very gritty, a lot of brawling. Shawn Michaels got his ass like kicked, but he gave it back to Undertaker. He gives him like a pile driver on the steel steps. Of course, the introduction of Kane. It's gotta be Kane. That's gotta be Kane. Kane shows up at the end, tombstones the Undertaker, and helps Shawn Michaels beat him. Which I think they gave him a title shot against Bret Hart, right? At the old Survivor Series. The old Montreal screw job, Sexy Chino.
The old Montreal one.
Yeah, so if it wasn't for Kane, maybe Bret Hart never would have left WCW. He would have never got screwed.
You mean WWF?
Yeah, there you go. He never would have left WWF if it wasn't for It's Gotta Be Kane. Yeah, but what do you think of this match? Because what do you think of this one?
That was a classic. You gotta understand that it was like their version of the War Game style. Remember the cages?
Yeah,
So
you see, I wasn't watching really, but this time I was because this was already NWO, right? NWO was already, so I was watching it, but I wasn't used to the chain link like you bring up like the War Games. So to me, this was like brand new.
Yeah, but the blue steel cage, I believe, made its debut in WrestleMania 2. So they used to have this steel cage, the fence link that you're talking about back in the old days for MSG and all the other ones.
Oh, really? Yeah, but man, and this is like, I remember watching the match and I was like, just the way they like paced it and like just everything made sense. Like there's like high spots, but it's well timed. This match is awesome, and you know the way they kind of do like a little loophole for them to climb up to the cage. I think Undertaker throws Michaels, I think, on top of one of the cameramen, and they have to get the cameraman out. So Slaughter comes down, opens the chain, and at that point, I think Shawn Michaels super kicks Undertaker, and Undertaker gets up from it. And he's like, oh, crap, I'm out of here. So while they're letting the cameraman out of the cage, Shawn Michaels leaves the cage too, and Undertaker follows behind him. And they end up going to the top. And everybody's like going crazy in the crowd because I don't think anybody had seen something like that at that time. And of course, Michaels takes that bump through the Spanish announce table with Chico. I was, Tito Santana. Chico was right there on commentary. Yeah. Yeah, but really, really awesome match. This one's, I think it's still like, go watch this match, and just like for the new fans, like the younger fans, the psychology, everything just makes sense in this match. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, everything makes sense. I mean, they had a reason why they opened the cage, which isn't all of a sudden they just broke out. You even said that, like the cameraman was down, so there was a reason for this. There was a reason for Michaels to exit the cage because he was trying to get away because he was getting the hell beat out of him. So everything started to make sense, you know. And also, you forgot to say that this was one of the most bloodiest matches for Michaels. Did you see how much bloody he poured out?
You know what the funny thing is? It's not on this DVD compilation. You know how I watched it? It's actually on the WWE YouTube channel. But as soon as the Michaels starts sporting the crimson blood, the crimson mask, if you will, they go to just black and white, like which kind of sucks. But I understand, like they go to black and white because they don't want to show the blood. But for those people that haven't watched this match, WWE has it. WWE has this match on their YouTube page. Any other thoughts?
It's got to be Kane, dude. It's like it was like, you know what's cool about this is like it's the way how it got built. Because remember when Paul Bearer got burned, that's when he started saying, "Oh, your brother." He started bringing that Kane name, and they didn't bring it up for a little while. He just said it a couple, but it just came out of nowhere because they was like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring Kane out," you know, like it literally came out of nowhere. And you saw the shocked look on the Undertaker.
He sold
that
it.
Was
he
priceless.
Sold it, brother.
He sold it, like you said. But that was priceless because that's what you want. You want to have that fear, like, because then you're showing the fans or the audience itself, like, oh my God, this is big, you know? If he would have just, like, struck it off, then it would have meant anything. But he's like, oh my God. You saw the eyes, the look. I mean, yeah, like you said, when you tell a good story, when everything comes together, you got a great match altogether.
Yeah, it was great. And you talk about a 180 for Mr. Glenn Jacobs, the shoot name. He before this he was Diesel. Before this he was Isaac Yankum DDS. Talk about a 180. Then he becomes Kane, and Kane arguably is probably one of the most popular wrestlers from like the Attitude Era. I would say like a top 5. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He's very well known. And the funny thing is, like you said, he started out in Smoky Mountain as Unabomb, and then they brought him in as Isaac Yankum, Jerry Lawler's dentist, and then they gave him the Diesel gimmick.
Which Diesel, Diesel, they were kind of trying to give him a little bit of a push. It seemed not so much the new Razor, but I think with the new Diesel, because he was so jacked and impressive, it seemed like they were actually trying to push him a little.
Yeah, they wanted to do something with him because he was well known in Smoky Mountain when he was doing Unabomb, so they knew they had a potential with him.
Yeah, wasn't he the Christmas creature or something?
That was USWA, okay?
That was it, right? Where he was like a freaking Christmas tree or some shit.
Yeah, he was a Christmas tree, yes. Hey, well, what about Sid was Lord Humongous and he had a mask too. Remember that?
Oh, he was like supposed to be like Mad Max or something, wasn't he? Like a Mad Max bad
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah. So USWA brought in all those big guys and put them in the mask, made them, But yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my number 5. Let's check out Sexy Chino's number 5 pick here.
Stone Cold Steve Austin against Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and as Jim Ross said, a very interesting match here in the World Wrestling Federation against two individuals who are not exactly fan favorites.
You know, I'm not out here for your amusement.
Look, do you think maybe?
Well, I'm just wondering.
What are you laughing at?
Do you think
Are
maybe
you in on
McMahon? Maybe McMahon doesn't want to hear what you have to say.
So you at number 5, as we hear a very pissed off Jim Ross because they were messing with his mic. I don't even remember that. We're live, pal. They were messing with his mic and he was getting mad. But at number 5, Sexy Chino's got From Buried Alive, In Your House Buried Alive. A really odd match. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Tell us about this match.
It was interesting this match because if you it was like bad guy versus bad guy at the time, and Austin was starting to build himself, and you had Triple H having that little issue with Mr. Perfect, so that was kind of contradicting. But Hunter replaced, I believe it was Savio Vega.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't it supposed to be Stone Cold versus Savio? And he was like a last minute replacement? Hunter was?
Yeah, either Savio, or it could be somebody else, Jake. But it was somebody. He replaced somebody, and it was interesting because you watch it in the pay-per-view. It's like what you wouldn't think that match would happen because at the time, it was rare. You had good guy versus good guy, bad guy versus bad guy. Remember?
Yeah.
They always try to keep the bad guy, good guy, scenario. So it's like when you saw this match, it's like going back and forth. It's like they started wrestling. I'm like, oh, and then they started doing their cheating tactics.
Yeah.
So
it was really like, I think you were more used to seeing good guy versus good guy. Like a Bret versus Bulldog or Bret Piper. But the bad guy versus bad guy, I feel like was more rare. And at that time, like Stone Cold was kind of like, he was on that upward trajectory. And I could be mistaken, Triple H was kind of being punished around this time, right? Because he did the curtain call with Diesel and Razor and Shawn. Wasn't that after that?
Yeah, like after that, when he was getting punished like in '95, and he's kind of building himself back up like at the end of '96. But it was interesting to see Hunter Hearst Helmsley, not even Triple H at the time. And remember, he used to have a girl. Remember that?
Yeah, he wasn't even with China in this one.
He wasn't even. Yeah, he used to bring the girls out. And the thing was like Mr. Perfect started taking the girls, and that's when Hunter started. Hey, wait a minute,
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I don't have this on my top 5, but it's an honorable mention. And I watched this match. I think it's also on YouTube, on WWE's YouTube. And it was fun to see that like Perfect comes out with this really like blue suit, and he kind of gets into it with Stone Cold a little bit. And then he ends up costing like Hunter Hearst Helmsley the match because I think he takes his girl away.
Yeah, but did you remember how Austin beat Triple H or Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
Didn't he get him with the stunner?
Yeah, he got him with the stunner. But the funniest thing is like, you know how Austin usually runs off the ropes and he misses, and he goes like and he tries to hit you like kind of like the Mark Henry style, when your head's on the when you're like your throat's on the second turnbuckle on the ropes.
Like the stun gun, or what do you mean? I'm not sure what you
mean. No, like your head,
like the boss man,
Yeah, you're like the boss man style, right?
Yeah.
So what I liked about this finish, or like the ending of the match, is like Austin runs off the ropes, Triple H moves out of the way, Austin jumps back up. It's like he catches himself, and then he gets him the stunner.
Yeah, he gives him like a double bird from behind his back and hits him with the stunner.
Exactly. Yeah. So I really like that style because nobody saw that coming at all. And that's what makes wrestling fun, when you can't see things coming. When like goes in, oh shoot, you didn't think that was going to make the finish. You didn't think that was going to be the end of the match.
Yeah.
But that came out of nowhere. And that's what made that match great for me.
Yeah, it's a fun one. And it's also like very short. Like if you want like a snackable short match. And this is like, it's funny because these guys wound up having like being like top 3 big stars in a couple years. Just like a couple years, they were the top 2 guys here. And then this one, they were like the openers of the pay-per-view. They like a year or 2 later, they were the top guys. They were the main eventers. It's pretty crazy to see.
Yeah, that's how history is, man. You know, like that's why you always look at the people who start the event, because they could be the ones main eventing later on in life.
Yeah. Started from the bottom. Now we're here, or whatever, or however that song goes. You know,
Started from the bottom, going to the top. Yeah.
There you go. You know more about the hippity hop than me. Let's go to my number 4 pick now.
Maybe Michaels has had enough. Michaels was on the outside and did not see.
Shawn Michaels, you're going to have to look me in the eyes, and you're going to have to pay for your crimes. And you will rest in peace.
So my number 4 pick, what you heard there was Shawn Michaels hitting Undertaker over the head with the chair after Bret Hart might have provoked him a little bit, costing Undertaker the WWF title, and they wound up wrestling at In Your House, Ground Zero. So Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker at my number 4 pick. I think I'm maybe mistaken, but this might have been one of the first times Michaels and Undertaker actually locked up. I think they locked up like earlier in the 90s, right? When Michaels was just starting as the Heartbreak Kid. But this was like their first like pay-per-view match, from what I remember.
Yeah, it's like Michaels was more of a mid-carder back then, but now he was building up towards the main event.
Yeah. So I remember watching this one at my friend Roger's house too, with the black box. It's okay, statute of limitations is up. They can't arrest me anymore. Besides, it wasn't my black box; it was his black box.
Yeah, sure. Throw his name out there. You know, it's like that.
Oh, did you know that before you, Sexy Chino, I had another Asian friend, Roger.
Oh, wow! I feel so disappointed.
He's Cambodian. Don't feel jealous.
He was Cambodian?
Right? Yeah. Don't feel jealous. Yeah. You were my first Asian friend.
Oh, that broke my heart. Wow, you can't find another Asian friend. That's pretty. Yeah,
another fun tip about my friend Roger. He taught me how to put on the figure 4 leg lock. So if it wasn't for him, I never would have known how to put on a proper figure 4.
You know why they call it figure 4, right?
Because it looks like a 4?
Exactly. If you look on the top, you see a 4 from the structure of how you have the legs.
I did not know that.
So this match, another one that I remember watching this match, just like the Hell in the Cell. So this is actually the lead up match to Hell in the Cell. So this was like right after Shawn Michaels cost Undertaker the WWF title. Undertaker wanted a piece of him. This is another match that I was like, damn, I've never seen anything like this match. Because I think in the very beginning, I don't know if Undertaker or Michaels knocks out the ref. they take out the ref, so then they're just brawling the whole time, and they go up to the house, like the actual like prop house that they have up the ramp. Undertaker does like a military press and slams him like on the steel grate on the top of the ramp. He throws him into the house. They're just brawling all over the place. I if I'm not mistaken, it goes to a no contest. I think it just like a no contest at the end.
Yeah, because like what's cool about this match itself is the fact that there's just so much going on. There's so much going on. And then at the end, like the Undertaker just jumps on everybody who's trying to break up. They're trying to break it up because, like you said, it's not contest. They just had it with the ref. So, yeah, this match is great. And it's a good back and forth. And, I mean, the crowd was so into it. Just listen to the crowd.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
I think they were probably in shock, too, because I remember watching this and being like, this is one that when we were going to do the episode, I was like, oh, this is going to be in the top 5. Like, I already knew. Because I remember watching this with my friend, crisscross applesauce on his carpet in his living room, watching it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Like what they're doing. It wasn't like your traditional new generation WWF match. This was like that transition where it wasn't attitude yet, but it was going there. It was like getting there. So yeah, it's a fun one. For those of you guys out there that haven't watched this and watch this one. This is a fun one. I think it might be also. I'm not sure if it's on the YouTube, WWE YouTube, but I saw it on this little bad boy. Little swap meet find, if you will, in your house right here. So that's my number 4 pick. Let's go now to Sexy Chino's number 4 pick.
Right there in the ring, also one in the boardroom. You've got to be happy about the decision by interim President Gorilla Monsoon, but you still must be concerned about the wild card matchup.
First of all, it wasn't a decision by Monsoon. He was forced into doing what was right. So don't give Monsoon the credit. But Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, will meet the winner of Diesel and Bret the Hitman Hart for the title. And I guarantee you one thing. We are going to, at December, in your house, accomplish 2 purposes in the same match. And let's get the title around his waist and show everybody that he should have been the one there all along. And then, this wild card foolishness at Survivor Series. It's going to be Yokozuna, Owen Hart, Dean Douglas, and Razor Ramon.
All right, Jim Cornette, we're going to talk about the Survivor Series here, pal. But that what you heard there was I didn't realize that was like whoever won between Bret and Diesel Survivor Series. Obviously, Bret took the title from Diesel. Diesel's 1-year reign. I guess Bulldog got the shot, so that's your match in your house 5. Bret Hart versus British Bulldog for the WWF title.
Yeah, this match is really good in the sense that it told a different story. And it was a totally different concept from their match in Wembley Stadium.
Oh, this is the rematch. Bret Bulldog 2.
Yeah, so that's what I like about this match. It's like it's totally different. Even Bret Hart bleeds really bad in this match, another bloody match. But just think about the ending towards it. It's a magistral cradle.
Is that you know how, have you ever heard that shoot interview where like Chris Jericho says he taught Bret Hart how to do that magistral cradle? And Jericho says, he wound up using it. I wonder if that's what he was talking about. He used it in this match.
Oh yeah, he even told Bret Hart himself. Remember when they had like that anniversary again, a Raw where it was in Canada and Bret Hart got that accomplishment, and then all those guys came out and Jericho even told him about that. I remember like I was a young kid, and I was like, because he was trying to come up with I think he was at Lance Storm School, maybe was it one of those schools, or back at the dungeon. But Jericho told him, "Hey man, I just came back from Japan and he was in Mexico and he saw the Magistral Cradle and he told Bret about it and he actually used it at the IYH in your house in December."
Yeah. This one, this was actually one I didn't go watch at my friend Roger's house. Like this is a match I always wanted to watch because I heard it was good. So I watched it on I think I watched it on the DVD set, and I was like, yeah, I like this. Was in my top 5 for a while. I wound up getting pushed out as I watched more matches, but it hung on. It hung on for a while. Sexy Chino. It was like Rick Martel in the '91 Royal Rumble. It was hanging on to like that number 4 and 5th spot for a while. Eventually, it got kind of nudged out, but he was there for 45 minutes. He was there for the long haul. But yeah, this was a good. I like that it's like you said, the '92 Wembley Stadium match they have, very technical, very just very technical babyface versus babyface match. And this one, Bulldog's heel, and Brett's the babyface, and it's very gritty, like very gritty. I think at one of the points, I think Bulldog takes a turnbuckle, and it looks like he spikes his head. It looked pretty brutal. I don't know if you remember that. He takes like that upside down, like he used to do that, like that somersault into the turnbuckle and like pop off the turnbuckle. But I don't know if he didn't get like the bounce, and he like pile drove himself. That thing looked rough. And that's one thing I like about Bret's matches. Like one thing I love about Bret Hart is that he always finds like different ways to win matches. Like he used like a victory roll, right? Against like Bam Bam Bigelow and the King of the Ring. He's done he always finds like interesting ways to win matches, like sneaky ways, like technical ways. And this one he gets him like with that Mahi Straw cradle you brought up.
Yeah. So it would say like I said, Bret, that makes you a technician. You don't always have to win with your finisher. You always have to like come up with different ways, because he wasn't the size of Hulk Hogan, so you were always going to get that same finish or anything towards it. So he always came up with different ways. And what's cool about, like I always say, is like when you don't expect it, that's when it's best, because that's when they get you. Yeah. That's when like, oh my, it's like such surprising.
Another thing to bring up is one that the move that looks cool is freaking Bulldog hits his running power slam on the outside to Bret. That must have hurt a little bit. yeah, there's a good pick right here. And in watching this match, what it also like made me feel a little bit sad about was that I felt like WWF was good at using like the Bulldog. They knew how to use the Bulldog. They knew how to use Bret. I feel like when Bulldog went to WCW, he was just like any mid-card or lower-card guy. Like WWF knew how to use the Bulldog, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they got the most out of Bret Hart. They got the most out of Owen Hart. They got the most out of the British Bulldog. Like, if you think about, like, when Bulldog got a good chance in WCW is when he first came in, remember?
I don't even remember what he did. And what did he do? Like when he got to WCW?
He was like, he had a really good match with Steven Regal in WCW. I think we used that one time for our matches. But he also had a good match. He was having matches with Vader, remember? And he was like part of that.
You're talking about
Bash
early.
at the Beach.
You're talking about like beef. I'm talking about like later. I guess I had forgotten about that. Yeah, he was like a main eventer there.
He was. Yeah, they used him as a main eventer. After that, then I understand where you're going with that.
Yeah, when he had the buzz cut, I was thinking about that. Yeah, when he had the buzz cut, he was wrestling. Nothing against Alex Wright and Disco Inferno, but you see him here in the main event, and then he goes to WCW, and he's just kind of like, just throw him in there with Anvil, and they can wrestle random tag teams. Yeah.
Random.
Yeah, but you were right. I forgot about that. WCW actually gave him like a main event push in the early 90s.
Yeah.
All right. So cool pick. I that was a fun match. I'm going to go now to my number 3 pick.
All right. Owen Hart against Shawn Michaels. The bell has rung. We're ready for action here.
Hey, look what? You see what Owen's doing? He's telling Shawn Michaels right now. He's going to kick him right in the head like he did before, and Shawn Michaels could be history. I mean, once and for all, his entire career over, McMahon.
I don't know. You have to ask yourself what kind of a drubbing, can Shawn Michaels take him? We know he's resilient. Maybe the most resilient ever in the WWF. Michaels having some fun in there, and that's what it's all about.
You got to love that McMahon laugh. Goddamn. Some good shit there, pal. So at number 3, I've got Shawn Michaels versus Owen Hart in Your House 6, I believe. In Your House 6. This is another one I remember watching live and rooting for Owen Hart the whole time. Because if you remember, this was a pre-WrestleMania 12. So this was like post that Royal Rumble that Michaels won. And I don't know how it happened, but I guess Shawn Michaels put his title shot at WrestleMania on the line against Owen Hart at that In Your House. So I was like, oh man, Owen Hart's going to go to WrestleMania. He's going to go to WrestleMania. Michaels beats him. But man, really, really good match. And it's not super long. I don't know. I don't think this was the main event. This was like the semi main event, I believe, or I don't remember. But really, really, really fun match. What can you say about Owen Hart? One of the best.
What can you say about Owen Hart?
Yeah, what can you say about Owen Hart? One of the best. And I always felt like him, Hart, and Michaels had like awesome chemistry, like their styles.
Yeah, you're right. It's like that match is cool, but a lot of people. One of the main things that people remember about that match is Michaels' entrance when he just got on top of the house and doing stuff with the rope.
Is that this one? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, because I watched this on the WWE YouTube thing, and they don't put the entrances, so I remember that was this one.
Yeah, so that's one of the main things a lot of people remember when they watch this match. But overall, this match is good because like when Michaels and Owen had matches, it was like a legit good wrestling match. You know, good story. It had a meaning towards it. You know, like this was about like Shawn Michaels wanted to get revenge for getting knocked out by Owen Hart's enziguri kick and put in him out, according to what their story they were trying to tell. And then so he was goaded in by Jim Cornette and Owen Hart to put his title shot from the Royal Rumble. And that's what this match came about. And then it was a really good it was a good match. Like you said, it doesn't have to be long to be good. Just remember that. It doesn't have to be long to be good.
Yeah, I think it's about like a 15-minute match, 16-minute match, but really good and like no wasted energy, and like you brought up, they bring into the story that Owen Hart knocked him out, concussed him with that enziguri. At some point in the match, Owen Hart hits him with the enziguri, and I think Michaels takes a bump to the outside. He's like, "Oh, it's over! He knocked him out." And I think Owen rolls him back in, and HBK kicks out at 2.5. Then at the end, I love the ending of the match where like I think Michaels goes for a super kick, Owen Hart ducks it, then Owen Hart goes for the enziguri, Shawn Michaels ducks it, and then he hits him with the super kick. I remember that sequence. I love that sequence at the end. How he beats him.
Yeah, it's good. Like we said, it's like when you get it out of nowhere, that's when you're like, oh, that's when they got when they got you, because like you're watching them, and then like it gets you. You're like, that's when like, oh my god, you didn't expect that, and that's what's cool about it. It's like you thought Michaels was gonna hit him right away, but he didn't. So like, oh, but then you go, oh shoot. Then Owen goes for the enziguri, but he gets out of the way, and then Michaels hits it. Yeah. So the great tease always works.
Yeah. And so far, Chino, I have 3 straight Shawn Michaels matches. You think it's going to be a clean sweep on my list? You predict, will it be a clean Shawn Michaels sweep on my list?
No, I think you have some Bret Hart in there too.
Okay. Maybe. It might be a clean sweep. And I've said this in the past. I hated Shawn Michaels at this time. Especially like the babyface Michaels. I hated him. Did I tell you when I took a sign to the Anaheim Pond during a house show? I think he wrestled Goldust at that house show, and I took a sign that said a lot of profanity against Michaels, a lot of profanity against his clique, and of course they confiscated the sign. They're like, "Nah, man, you can't take this inside." So I was not a Shawn Michaels fan, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. There's not. Shawn Michaels is in that top tier of like in-ring performers, right? You can't deny it.
You're right.
You can't deny
it. Like just.
Yeah.
Can't deny it. Hey, but like, okay, you talk about they took away your sign, right? But I think it was like an Arrowhead Pond thing, or like what is it, Honda Center now,
Yeah.
or even like Ana Arena. Because I remember I drew on Hart, and they told me it was too big, so they took away my sign too. This is like when he was when he was about Royal Rumble, he was like gonna do the thing with Brett, where it
Against
was
the
like around
Quebecers?
December time. It was like against Johnny Paulo at the Anaheim Arrowhead Pond.
But it when they were going to wrestle the Quebecers at the Rumble? Like before that?
Yeah, it was. It was like I think it was actually in December because they had like that one time like it was like it was like because the Bossman was the referee for like the Jarrett, I believe, Brett match. Because I know Owen wrestled Johnny Paulo, which is Raven, and I believe the Quebecers were facing what I think Man on a Mission maybe.
I was going to say
It's just been a while.
it had to be Men on a Mission. Yeah. I remember also taking a sign to I think it was the Pond or Sports Arena, and I had a little Owen Hart. It just said Owen Rules, and I remember showing it to him, and he just pointed at me and said, "Yeah." And he just went to there. So I was like, "Yeah," but they did not let the stuff I wrote on Shawn Michaels' poster was not so positive as my Owen Hart side.
As my Owen, dude, I actually drew Owen with the blue tights, and
Maybe
then they took it away from me.
You had like a giant ass poster for it. Yeah. All right. Well, that was my number 3 pick. Let's go to Sexy Chino's number 3 pick here.
All right, standing by right now, ladies and gentlemen, the Hart Foundation. Gentlemen, what about it? You have your answer. You know who your 5 opponents are now, do you not, at the Canadian Stampede?
That's right, the mystery's over. We know what the 5 are, and we're going to treat them like the American scum that they are at the Calgary Stampede. We are going to destroy them because in Canada, we don't have discrimination. We will treat them just like the scum they are.
That's right. We don't discriminate. We're an equal opportunity destroyer, and the battle lines have been drawn in blood. My friends, so when you get across that border, get ready to step inside the dungeon, the combat zone, right into hell.
All right, thank you very much.
McMahon cutting off the time bomb. What do they call him? The loose cannon, Brian Pillman.
The loose cannon,
yes.
Brian Pillman.
So at number 3, Sexy Chino had the Hart Foundation, consisting of Brett, Owen, Bulldog, Neidhart, and Pillman, versus I guess Team Austin. I guess with a Stone Cold, Ken Shamrock, Goldust, and the LOD, right? From In Your House Canadian Stampede. Tell us about this one.
Oh, come on. Just like this match, it was, you hear the crowd, oh, it's like greatness. And like, everybody was cheering the like, oh, and Brett, Bulldog, Neidhart, and Pillman. And if you think about it, this was the only, if I'm correct or wrong, they can tell me, but I think it was the only time that all 5 wrestled at the same time as a tag.
Oh, the Hart Foundation?
Yeah, because there was the Hart Foundation. I think they had Bulldog team up with Owen, Amber teamed up, I believe, with the Bulldog or the Brett. Remember they did the flag match with the versus the Patriot and Vader. And so it was like Brett and Bulldog. But this was the time they actually put Pillman was part of it. So they had all 5 of the Hart Foundation members. Because the whole thing about the Hart Foundation members, it was because Pillman was part of the dungeon. And that's one of the reasons they consider him a Hart Foundation member.
Yeah, I never understood that back then. I think I heard that later on. I was like, why was Pillman in the Hart Foundation? He's not Canadian. But it was like because he trained there?
Correct, if you trained there. Because like that's how Jericho trained there, Lance Storm trained there. It's like, that's the thing. It's like you got the dungeon, you pass the dungeon. And one of the main things is like Pillman and became like part of the dungeon, so that's why they took him in as the Hart Foundation. And I guess that was the first time I believe all 5 of them teamed up. At least in the pay-per-view, they could have been a live event, but overall, just hear the crowd. And Austin, oh my God, he placed his part so perfect in this match.
Yeah, he's still like, I mean, in the States, he's not like the Austin he became in like 98, right? But he was upward, like I said, he was slowly climbing up, being the top guy, but he was like all into the heel, like being the heel, because they're in Canada. So he's like flipping the crowd the bird and telling them off. He didn't give a damn. He was telling them off. And Owen gets the win. Owen gets rolls up, I think, holds the tights, grabs the tights on Austin and gets the pin. So it was
and the crowd explodes. Did you notice that?
Yeah, and I think even like Bruce gets involved, right? Like they throw water on Bruce or something outside.
Oh man, it's great. And you want to go back in history? Did you remember how many of the Hart family went into the ring?
Yeah, I watched this match, so this is not in my top 5, but honorable mention too. And I was trying to spot everyone because I had heard like Tyson Kidd, so I saw Tyson Kidd, Teddy Hart. I thought I saw in there Teddy Hart.
I believe Teddy Hart. I believe Natalia was in there too.
I didn't see her, but I know that
Natty was definitely there because that's one of the main things that she talks about.
Bulldog's kid was in there. What's his name? Harry? What's his name?
Yeah, Harry. I believe Harry.
Yeah, Harry.
And then you have Owen holding Odds. I believe that's his name, Odds. And he has the Jack Pacific Owen Hart figure. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you have the Stu and Helen and a bunch of people, like all the brothers. Yeah, it was. This is another thing. When I was watching it, I was like, just WWF just knew how to use their guys. Like they didn't have to have like all main eventers versus all main eventers, right? Which I felt like WCW was guilty of sometimes. Like they have to have like the big rosters, like the big names against the big names. This one you had a Neidhart, you had Pillman, which Pillman was awesome, but he had the ankle issues, so he wasn't the same wrestler. Yeah. Like I said, they threw Neidhart in there, and he did his role. Like they knew how to use like the guys that maybe were already on the decline. They knew how to use them right and hide them like their weaknesses.
Truly, and that like I said, and the cool part about it is they already had the crowd from the beginning. The crowd was so into it. Whatever they gave them, they just reacted to it.
They were just ready to root for anybody on the Hart Foundation, whatever they did, an eye gouge,
exactly.
Whatever, they didn't care. Yeah,
yeah. That was, and remember, Owen Hart, I believe. Am I correct or wrong? Because I know you watched it. Owen Hart was taken to the back, correct?
Does he get taken? Oh yeah, I think he gets taken to the back, and then he comes back and gets the roll up.
And he gets the roll up exactly. So think about how dramatic it was for that crowd. Like, oh, we lost Owen, and all of a sudden he comes like, yeah, pulls the tide on the guy that they hate because he's being upbred in the family, and takes the victory. That's a pop the unbelief.
Easy money right there, pals. All right. So that was Chino's a fun one, a fun match. Watch this one, fun match. Yeah, it was your number 3 pick. I'm gonna go to my number 2 pick here.
Hakushi continuing the attack. Hakushi quite the aggressor now. Hakushi with the hitman Bret Hart, and whips him to the buckle. And the momentum clearly shifting right back to Hakushi. Watch this. Hakushi now, sitting on the top rung of the ladder.
What a maneuver! 1, 2, oh, he got him. No, he didn't.
Oh, he almost got him. He almost got him.
I was like, 1, 2, oh, he got him. He got him. He got him. Oh, he
did it.
That was always a big man's thing. At my number 2, you were right, Chino. Sexy Chino, you called it. There's a Bret Hart match in here. Bret Hart versus Hakushi from the first In Your House. And I could be mistaken, but I think this was the opener, the card opener. I think, right? Because then Bret Hart wrestles Jerry Lawler like later in the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you're right. It was the opener, and it was. I think it was well done because it was like Bret Hart would still have that momentum. So, and then bring Hakushi like a brand new opponent, but totally different because like Hakushi was doing more flying stuff than other people were doing at the time. The It really worked out. Plus, Bret, like you said, he had to wrestle. He had to wrestle with the Lawler later on. And remember Lawler? Because it was supposed to be like Mother's Day, so he brought like this really young girl. Say, hey, it's my mother right here, you know?
Oh, I don't even remember that. Sounds like something Lawler would do. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you said, Hakushi, such an underrated worker, such an underrated wrestler. That match is pretty good, like you said. It told a good story, and like you said, Bret Hart set up this match was set up so differently compared to the Lawler match.
Yeah. This was this is the first match that I watched from all the matches I rewatched for this podcast, and I was just like loving it. I was like, man, I love like this style of wrestling. Like everything matters, everything counts. Slow pace. You have like the high spots, no wasted motion. I'm not trying to throw jabs at like AEW, but I watched that and I'm like, you see a guy do like everybody do 1,000 suicide dives and like everybody does a dive to the outside. Everybody does like a Canadian destroyer. I'm like, but then it doesn't mean anything. I'm not trying to be the old man on the porch here, Sexy Chino. But this is my brand. This is what I like. Psychology, slow, basic, and then when the high spots come, they come. I think Hakushi hits like a moonsault, like a Asai moonsault to Bret, and like almost like bends him in half with the moonsault. Just very technical. Like Hakushi also very like methodical in his moves. I think he hits like a Bam Bam Bigelow Benoit style headbutt, flying headbutt, and like I said, I love that Bret would always come up with creative ways to get wins. I think this one he counters like a kind of like a waist lock, and he goes into the victory roll, which I had never seen before, and I was like, oh, that was awesome. It was like so clean how he got him.
Yeah, I just said matches like this are great, and like you said, you're old school and I'm old school, but I also understand the new kind of like it's just at different times, you know. But overall, everybody puts a different effort, and you get different matches. You know, sometimes we would rather have this way, but other ways still makes money, so it works out either way.
Am I just old, Sexy Chino? Am I just like
I'm
an
way
old fogey? I'm just stuck in the past.
I think I'm a dinosaur level compared to you. Man.
But as far as like the wrestling you like, do you agree? Or is it just a thing that happens from generation to generation? Because I'm sure the generation before us was like, oh, no, this is the better wrestler. Whatever they grew up with, that was the better wrestling.
Yeah, I guess you're right in a sense because like it's always been generations, like Generation X or the Boomer generation or the Gen Zs or the Millennials or the Greatest Generation or the Gen Alpha right now. It's always gonna be something different. But at the end of the day, the best thing about it, we're all still watching something.
Yeah, that is true. I guess I'm just tired of seeing like everyone do a Canadian destroyer. I remember back in the day when Petey Williams would hit it.
Exactly, I was going to say that.
That was it, and it was the finish, and it was awesome.
Yeah, Petey Williams is probably one of the saddest guys right now. Seeing his finisher just overused, you know, because back in the day, oh my God, he hit that at TNA, freaking total nonstop action.
You know what the Canadian destroyer is? It's the modern DDT.
But one of the main things that I remember is the fact that D'Lo Brown said this is like people can do sky highs all the time, but when I hit it, I get the 1, 2, 3. What's that tell you about his move?
Yeah, his matters.
Exactly.
He does it the best. Yeah.
He does it the best, exactly.
And why the
so
hell?
When he hits it, that's it.
Yeah. All right. Not trying to piss anybody off there, but it's just I'm just an old man. What can I tell you? I'm stuck in the past. Now let's go to Sexy Chino's number 2 pick here.
The bizarre, the deranged mankind. Just listen to this from Paul Bearer and the Challenger.
Oh, yes, he's just a sexy boy, not a fighter. Oh, Shawn Michaels, you might see a little sweat on Paul Bearer right now. Something you're not used to, but I kind of like it in the heat of this boiler room. You're going to be sweating all right when you step into the ring with the WWF gold around your waist against my mankind. When I win that heavyweight title, will that make me a sexy boy? Will the girls want to kiss me? Will they want to whisper in my ear? Or will they just run in here? Because I think I'd like most of all, with a gold belt around my waist any day. It'll be a nice day. You will.
Man, I kind of miss that version of Mankind. The boiler room sadistic Mankind. So you have right there, Matt. Your number 1 is your number 2 is Shawn Michaels versus Mankind from In Your House Mind Games for the WWF Championship.
Yeah, that come on, like that man. Mick Foley puts us one of the that match is one of his best matches, and it also showed something that you probably didn't expect from Shawn Michaels. He was so gritty in that match.
Yep.
You felt that. Plus, remember where it was held at? It was in Philadelphia.
Oh, it was in Philadelphia.
ECW.
Yeah.
So that match itself is like very brutal, but it tells a good story. It's a very good back and forth. And remember, this is the back suplex into the Spanish announce table move that breaks the table, and it's one of the highlights that they use all the time.
Yeah, that was like probably one of the first times that ever happened, right? Like somebody going through a table. Must have been like one of the first times.
The first time, like WWF did it, like literally was like when supposed Survivor Series, right? Survivor Series, Brett was put to the table. Remember?
Oh yeah. So, with Diesel, right? With Diesel.
Yeah, with Diesel. Yeah.
Yeah.
But people still forget that if you remember Harley Race, Saturday Night's Main Event, he put Hogan on the table. This is when Harley Race got hurt. Hogan moved out of the way. Harley Race went to the table, and the table kind of broke. So that could be used as one of the first table spots if you think about it.
Yeah, and just to be honest, just to break it open right here, this is my number 1 pick. So since I was gonna go next with my number 1 pick, we can both talk about this. Yeah, this is my number 1 pick: Shawn Michaels versus Mankind, Mind Games. I remember seeing this one live, just like Hell in the Cell, just like the Ground Zero HBK Undertaker match. This is another one I was like, is this really happening? Like, what's happening in this match? I've never seen like Shawn Michaels wrestle like this. Like you said, Shawn Michaels kind of went like hardcore. He kind of went heel. It's almost like he went back like, oh, okay, I can't wrestle like a clean technical match like I did against Owen Hart. I can't wrestle like a clean wrestler. I gotta get gritty. I gotta get dirty with this guy. And he does. He starts like I think he like starts stomping him on the outside, like when he like I think throws him onto the drop kicks him, right? While like Mankind's trying to get rid of the padding, he drop kicks him.
Yeah.
And he starts stomping on him. He's like punching him, like repeatedly punching him in the head. Yeah, like Michaels gets gritty in this one. He super kicks him. I think he beats him with like he jumps off of a chair and super kicks Mankind while he's holding a chair. It's almost like what was it called? The Van Daminator?
Yeah, Van Daminator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good one. I really, really like this match.
Yeah, this told you, they had to bring it out for ECW because they were in Philadelphia. Because remember, the first match they had it was Paulie, the Sandman, and Paulie, the Sandman, and Dreamer. They were sitting in the front row. Remember?
Oh, that's when they Sandman spits on Savio Vega, right?
Yeah.
He spits beer at him.
Yeah, and then they start fighting it out. If you hear something to wrestle with, they were saying that they didn't want to tell people backstage that this is going to happen.
Oh yeah.
So
I think
Taker said Taker wanted to go out there.
Yeah, I think I heard that one with Bradshaw where Vega told him, like, hey, something's gonna happen, don't react or something, like don't do anything. Yeah, but this is a good one, man. And Mankind, I think this might be my favorite version of it, Mankind, when he was still wearing the mask and he was still like in that character, like Silence of the Lambs style character, Leatherface character. And he has like one of my favorite pile drivers where he would like hook the tights, like kind of like hook the tights and pile drive you. I like also the spot where I think he does that spot where he gets his head caught on the top two ropes, which looks like it hurt. That must hurt like hell. And then he grabs Michaels in the mandible claw. He grabs him in the mandible claw like as a last resort. Yeah, this is a great match. This is a great match. And it all makes sense. It all makes sense.
Exactly. It's just great because, like, you talk about the Hangman, right? When he threw his head under and he puts the mandible claw and Michaels keeps fighting him off. But remember, that was the move that took away his ear.
Yeah.
In Germany.
Yeah. With Vader? Was it with Vader?
With Vader, yeah. Because they tied in the ropes more for the high flyers. So when he went through, the ropes were really tight. So
yes,
he just took it in.
Popped off his ear. I had never seen that promo, but I love that promo. He's like, if I'm the WWF champion, will I be a sexy boy? Will the girls want to kiss me? I think I've heard Michael say like he wishes he would have had a longer like program with Mankind, which that would have been awesome to have like a longer like feud. You know, that would have been cool. Maybe they could have gone to like a cage match. Imagine a Hell in the Cell with Michaels and Mankind.
Oh man, that would have been crazy. Because look what the Undertaker and Mankind did, plus Undertaker and Michaels. So now you actually just put Michaels and Foley, Mankind in there, like you said, the old school Mankind. Oh my,
that would have been nuts. And that's one thing I didn't, in retrospect, didn't like about like the In Your House pay-per-views, like a pay-per-view every month. It felt like the programs were shorter. I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like the kind of the feuds were kind of like shorter because now there was a pay-per-view every month.
Yeah, you could be right. You could say that in a sense, but every match was building up towards another match.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe like it was built, but like I'm saying, like let's say they would have gone for like Survivor Series Michaels versus Mankind. Maybe it could have been like several months from SummerSlam to build it up. You know, I don't know. It could just be me though. But yeah, awesome match. I think this is the only repeat. Oh no, this is not the only repeat we both had. Because at number one, I'm not going to play a clip because I already played a clip. At Sexy Chino, you're number one. You got Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, the Ground Zero match.
Yeah, the one that you had at number 4, right? Correct?
Yeah, I had it at number 4. Tell us about why you loved it. Why is this one your number 1?
Oh, number 1 for sure. Because like you hear the crowd, it was a different standard for like Michaels, just like starting to get that edge, out of DX, because he was like that. That was just a fight, a match. It was just like so much chaos going on in that one match, and the crowd was so into it. That's what I liked about it. It's like there was just so much going on at the time. Because you think about that pay-per-view itself, like so much happened in that pay-per-view by itself. If the Ground Zero pay-per-view, like just watch all the matches. Something happens in almost every match. It was like that one time, like the that Monday Night Raw right after the Revenge of the Taker. Everything something happened almost in every single match. That was like when Bret Hart called out when Austin called out Bret. Bret got hurt. Remember, they put him in the ambulance. He started fighting. So that was that's what I'm saying. Like this match was good because it had a good build up towards it, and then they fought it out. And this match set it up for the, like you said, the Hell in the Cell. So that's what made this. That's what I was telling you. The in your house set it up to the other in your house to build up. So so it helped out having those little extra pay-per-views. Plus, they got a little more extra money inside because it was less than buying a pizza. But
because it makes sense, because in this match it goes to a no contest and everybody got involved. I think Triple H comes out, right, and China, and then that when Taker dives, like I think it's the Godwins and the LOD, they all come out, and Taker does that crazy. That might have been the first time that I remember seeing him do that dive where he dives over the top rope and just dives onto everybody. That was crazy.
That was crazy. It's like you wouldn't expect that for a 300+ pounder at that within that time. It's like because especially that at the time, like wow. But no, man, that was that match itself. Like I remember like, oh, this is a great match. I remember buying it exclusively for the WWF magazine. I had to cut out the thing and buying it exclusively on a VHS, which I still have.
Like the In Your House, Ground Zero?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember. Yeah, like I said, I remember watching this and being like, this is not like the common superstars matches that you're seeing every week with Alex the Pug Porto and T.L. Hopper. Yeah, it's funny. We both thought about T.L. Hopper. This was not your daddy's wrestling. This was like something new. And maybe, like you said, maybe like you mentioned in the Mind Games, it was the influence maybe of like ECW. Maybe some of that was trickling in. Like, okay, we got to get a little. The fans are tired of the doinks and the dinks and the TL hoppers. They want more gritty. They want more real.
Yeah. So everything built for something. Like sometimes people see it as different, but later on you watch it and you go, okay, this is why this happened. Because at the time you're just watching, sometimes you want to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
But now you look at it as like, okay, now I understand where we're going with it.
Yeah, and it builds to the Hell in the. It makes sense. They go to the Hell in the Cell because all these people get involved and referees are getting knocked out. So it's like, no, we're gonna do the Hell in the Cell to keep. You can't escape. Someone's gonna win. Someone's gonna lose.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, we went through our list. So I had 4 Shawn Michaels matches, 1 Bret Hart match. At some point when I was going through all the matches, because I kept changing my list, I think it was like Michaels, Bret. It was like one. And then, I'm not going to lie, then Michaels just kind of overtook the whole list. But I had to put that Bret Hart Hakushi match because I love that match. Let's see, with you had more variety. You had a couple of Bret. You had 2 Bret ones, 2 Shawn ones, and you had 2 Austin ones. So you had a little bit more variety there. But let's go. But it just goes to show, like, a lot of Bret and Shawn Michaels. This was like their time.
Yeah, it was truly their time.
And right there, Undertaker was like right there. He was probably like the 3rd top guy at that time. So let's go to the honorable mentions. I'll mention mine, and then you can bring up any that come to mind. But I had Shawn versus, let's see. Oh, I had the Bret versus Bulldog that you had. I had another one that I actually didn't watch live. Was a Double J versus Shawn Michaels for the IC title. When Shawn Michaels beats Double J. That was a good match. Very flashy, quick pace. Like, I think Jarrett and Michaels are like both top, probably like peak in their career, like as far as athleticism. I had Hog Pen match. I actually liked that one. The Triple H versus
You did?
Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Henry Godwin. I even remember watching. I remember liking that. Like when I first saw it as a kid, I was like, "Oh, this was a fun match."
Not for Triple H.
Oh yeah, he busted his back, didn't he? He
He busted his back. Yeah. So
I had two dudes with attitudes versus Owen and Bulldog. That was when I think the Diesel and Shawn like won all the titles, like the IC, the WWF, the Tag Team Championship for like one night, I think, right? Then they stripped them.
yeah, because they stripped them and they Owen and Yoko defended the titles the next day against the Good Guns. I believe they lost them.
Yeah. I had Shawn Michaels versus Diesel. The Diesel's kind of farewell match where Michaels beats Diesel and Diesel goes on to start a little faction, Sexy Chino, called the NWO in WCW. I also had
Good friends, better enemies, right?
Yeah, that one. That was a good. That one I don't remember seeing it live. I saw that one recently. I was like, oh, that was a fun one. But it was like very quick. Like it was almost like Diesel was like, all right, just job me out. I'm gone. Job me out. Do whatever.
Yeah, he actually did whatever. He grabbed Mad Dog's leg and beat it. When Michaels grabbed the other leg.
Mad Dog Vachon, yeah, it takes, but that's
because Diesel grabs the leg, but Michaels actually uses it.
You get some sweet chin music with a prosthetic leg. I have Heart, the one that you had on your list, Heart Foundation versus Team Austin. I had also Triple H versus Austin from Buried Alive. I had, you know which one I saw this week too that I liked was Undertaker versus Mankind, Buried Alive match. I remember seeing that one live too. I was like, oh, it's a fun one. It's like a fun brawl match. And I have Bret Hart. I think they wrestled at two In Your Houses, but I don't know which one I liked, but I liked one of the Bret Hart versus Jean-Pierre Lafitte matches. I don't know which one it is, but I think he beats him with a sharpshooter in one of them.
Yeah, I think it's the third one. The one from Detroit.
I don't remember, but I just remember like at one point Jean-Pierre Lafitte does like a somersault, like that somersault to the outside, and Bret moves, and that thing looked brutal. Yeah, but I had that one. Any come to mind off the top of your head?
I have one that you probably a lot of people forget. International Incident. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Mark Merrill. That was pretty good to me.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Something that people forget, it's because like they think of all the other matches. And I started watching, it's like, oh yeah, that's not a bad match. I have another one, Fatal 4-Way, the one where like Bret Hart wins the world title. You have Austin, Bret, Vader, and Taker. It's like over the top roll. You eliminate the guy over the top. That's when Vader gets hurt. Remember?
Yeah, he busts his eye. That I forgot to add it on my honorable mention, but that would be an honorable mention. I saw that one this week too. That was a good one. It was like just pretty much brawling, and it's like you either have to get a pinfall or throw them over the rope because they were the final four in the Royal Rumble, I think, right?
Correct. It's like a final four, yeah. But like they are all, I have to agree with you, bro. Shawn Michaels and Jeff Jarrett from In Your House #2.
Yeah.
For Nashville. That was a pretty good match. And after that, remember, that was when, right after that, Jarrett took his ball and went home with the Road Dogg.
Yeah, they left, right? They were mad about the money or something, and they left, right, for a little bit.
Yeah, they left for a little bit. But yeah, there's just so many IYH matches, but I got another one. I got another one for you. Okay, I believe I told you about it. I'm sure it's Breakdown. It's the steel cage match, triple threat between The Rock, Ken Shamrock, and Mankind.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. I'm not gonna lie to you. This number 3 of this one, I'm showing for the audio listeners the DVD 3-disc set, Best of In Your House. This number 3 starts going into the Attitude Era stuff. After that I kind of tuned out. I was like, I don't like these matches. I was like, I don't need to see any more In Your House matches. I like mine. I'm gonna be honest. I was not a fan of the Attitude Era wrestling matches. I thought it was just like a lot of raunchiness, and I thought the match quality went down. Like once Michaels and Bret were gone. That's just my opinion. I don't know, but Like there was like I saw one of the only Attitude Era matches I watched. It was like when it was like Stone Cold, and he teamed up with the Road Warriors, I think, and somebody else, I think, versus Savio Vega replaced Shawn Michaels. It was like DX.
Oh, that was a No Way Out pay-per-view from February. Right. That was the month after Shawn Michaels got hurt from the casket.
Yeah. So it was like Triple H, the New Age Outlaws, and then Savio Vega replaced Shawn Michaels, and it was like Austin. Was it Ken Shamrock? I don't remember, but I think it was like LOD.
No, it wasn't Shamrock. Yeah,
LOD, right?
Shamrock.
Owen Hart. It was the Black Heart. Owen Hart.
It was a Black Heart. Yeah.
Yeah, but that match, I watched.
No, I think it was. I think it was like. Didn't it also have like? Was it Mankind and Chainsaw Charlie?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. It was. Yeah, you're right. It was Cactus Jack, Chainsaw Charlie, Owen Hart.
Cactus Jack. Yeah.
Owen Hart, and then Austin. That match didn't make any sense to me. You know why it didn't make any sense? Because they're brawling. They're all brawling for like 15 minutes straight. And then all of a sudden they decide, okay, let's have a tag match. So to me, it's like, if you were like not listening to the rules and brawling for 15 minutes, then how are you now going to decide, okay, let's just have a tag team match now. Let's play by the rules. That match didn't make any sense to me. And I felt like
it was the Attitude Era.
Yeah, and I felt like that was a lot of the Attitude Era. So I think after I watched that match, I'm like, I don't need to watch the rest of them. I'm good.
You didn't want to watch the match breakdown between Owen Hart and Edge?
I don't think I've ever seen that one. Is that a good one?
That's not a bad match, no. That's like when Christian makes his debut.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, I was running out of time too. I'm like, this is my... And I'm going with nostalgia because nostalgia is a hell of a drug, pal. So I was like, I'm going to just stick with the ones that I grew up watching. But we went through our list. But it is tradition around here, Sexy Chino. You know what I'm about to say right now. It's tradition to play a little trivia game before we wrap things up. So we're going to take a commercial break, come back, play the trivia game. Let's see how Sexy Chino does.
You're Bret Hart. 7 world titles. 3-time World Wrestling Federation champion. Arguably the greatest wrestler alive today. But your last great moment wasn't all that great. That's why you come back. You can't let the memory become greater than the dream. Bret the Hitman Hart battles Psycho Sid for the WWF Championship. WWF in your house, live this Sunday. Nobody does pay-per-view like the...
I think Bret loses the title there, right?
Versus Psycho Sid? No, because Sid is the champion because this is like after Survivor Series. Sid's the champion and Michaels gets involved. Michaels and Bret hit and Sid hits the powerbomb on Bret.
And he beats him.
And in your house is called It's Time.
Yeah, there you go. It's Vader time. All right, so this is what we're going to do for the audio listeners. I'm going to pull out my little WWF the trivia game right here. Just ask Sexy Chino. I think this is your kind of trivia game because you don't do good at Name That Wrestler.
No.
You don't know the lyrics to any of the WWF themes.
I make up my own, yes.
So, I think when it comes to just basic knowledge, this is your wheelhouse. So, I expect a lot of you. So, I'm going to ask you 10 questions. Let's see how many out of 10 you get right. I'll say you got to get 6. That's like the passing grade here. And let's see. Just to keep things fun here. When you get something right, you're going to hear this.
You picked the right guy, Chico.
When you get something wrong, you're going to hear this. So these are sound effects. What game are these sound effects from?
WrestleMania the arcade.
Exactly. So that's what you're going to hear when you get something wrong or right. First question. Who pinned Hunter Hearst Helmsley at the Survivor Series 1996? You want the multiple choice? Was it Mark Merrow, Barry Windham, or Rocky Maivia?
1996. I'm gonna go with Merle.
You picked the right guy, Chico.
Good job. You got
Because
that one
people
right.
would expect Rocky Maivia, but Rocky beat I believe he beat Crush
And Goldust, right?
and Goldust.
Yeah. So and I picked this trivia game because this trivia game reminds me of the In Your House era. So it's gonna be a lot of that era around In Your House. In what state did Mark Merrow earn his Golden Gloves championship? You gotta know this. You're a big
It was
Mark
in
Merrow
New
guy.
York. It was New York.
What the? Did you get that? You did get it right.
You picked the right guy, Chico.
How the hell did you know that? I thought for
Yeah,
sure you were,
remember
you were not gonna know.
Because they talked about a lot about. You remember WCW, right?
Yeah.
Well, like the kind that you were watching. One of the main things they always talk about Johnny B. Bad being a Golden State Glove champion in New York.
So you were actually paying attention. Hit us with a Johnny B. Bad impersonation.
I'm so petty. I should have been a girl. Remember that he used to say that.
I'm a bad man. Okay. I'm looking at these are too easy. Who did Savio Vega pin in the semifinals of the King of the Ring 1995?
Semifinals. That would be the second to last match or the third to last match?
I think semifinals is the second to last. Because quarterfinals the third to last.
Okay, that's fine. He didn't pin nobody. If it's the second one you talk about, he actually beat I think Yoko and Baikana.
You're incorrect. He beat the roadie, it says here.
Was it the road? Because I know he beat IRS in the free for all because he had to get in the KOR.
And then maybe he beat Yoko and then Rhodey. Because I think Rhodey didn't he?
Because Rhodey beat Rhodey because
right? Didn't he beat the
because didn't Rhodey beat was Holly right before him? Then it was the kid.
Who knows? I watched that pay-per-view and I just know that Savio, I was bummed out that he lost to Mabel at the end, but I don't remember exactly the order. But
because remember, that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, I know he beat IRS in the free for all, and I knew Yoko. I think it was that. So you were right probably about the roadie.
Yeah, take it up if you have an issue. Take it up with the card makers here if you think they're wrong, right? Sexy Chino.
I ain't saying nothing. I'm just going with what I remember. Okay, like I know I have less brain cells than you do because I've been doing it for longer. Yeah. So.
All right, here goes one of my favorite wrestlers back in the day. How did Kama's match at the King of the Ring 1995 end?
'95, I believe. Was it either a double count or double disqualification?
Close enough. It was a draw.
You picked the right guy, Chico.
A draw. I remember that with Shawn Michaels. I think they went to the time limit draw.
But you know, here's an Easter egg that probably you don't remember because a lot of people forget. You know how Mabel won the match, the KOR that week. I mean that event. Did you know that they took it out? That Michaels went to the coronation to the crown, and he tried to put it on, it wouldn't fit.
Oh, so that was a giveaway?
Yeah, he gave it away that way. So you knew Michaels was not going to win, but unless you put two and two together, you wouldn't pick it out.
Damn, I did not know that. All right, so you're doing good. 3 out of 4 right now. What is the name of Steve Austin's CD?
Steve Austin's CD.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
You mean VHS?
No, CD. Music, CD.
Because I know they have Full Metal, Volume 2.
5.
He has a
3.
I don't know. I don't know it.
It was Stone Cold Metal. Come on, Sexy Chino. You should have known that.
I do not know that. I can tell you about Aggression. I can tell you about Full Metal. I can tell you about Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4. You know? But I don't remember.
All right.
And I can tell you, I didn't say it's right or wrong.
You're 3 out of 5. You're still in good shape.
Fine.
All right. What was the name of the first UK only pay-per-view?
First name UK only. Oh wait, One Night Only.
You picked the right guy, Chico.
Very good. So right now you're 4 out of 6. You only have 4 more, so you only need 2 more. Then you're good. Then you pass the test, pal. All right. I'm trying to find like hard ones because you know. Oh, this should be. Oh no, that's gonna be too easy for you. No, that's too easy. Too easy. I don't want to give you easy. Who was the last man eliminated from the Royal Rumble 1995?
1995. The last guy eliminated. Well, I like you would try to get somebody with Shawn Michaels, but he only 1 foot stiff out, so it had to be the British Bulldog.
You picked the right guy, Chico.
Very good. It was the British Bulldog. Another heart-crushing moment for myself. I wanted the Bulldog to go to WrestleMania. I was like bummed out.
You didn't see his foot? Because like what they did, they kept the camera away.
Yeah.
And then you see the Bulldog there, and also you see Michaels come in. What the heck happened? And then they show you the other camera angle with the 1 foot.
Yeah, I was bummed. I remember watching that live. All right, here comes like a movie-related question. What was the name of Andre the Giant's character in The Princess Bride?
Oh,
you bought the figure and you were with me, so you should know this.
I was Frigo.
What was it?
Frigo or something like that.
Fritos. That's your final answer?
I know what you're talking about, but off the top of my head, like turkey or something like that. I know I got that one wrong.
You were closer with Friegel or whatever you said. It's Fizik.
Fizik?
Can you give us a Princess Bride Andre impersonation?
Hey, I totally probably wouldn't even say that. Let
me give that impersonation a fail too. Hold on. Right, number 4. The Rock once appeared in what USA Network series?
The 70s show?
That was not on the USA Network. It was.
Oh, Pacific Blue, right?
It was The Net. Triple H, it says, appeared on Pacific Blue. So you need one more to get 6. You need one more to get 6.
All right.
All right, let's see. Okay, let me see. I need to pick a hard one.
Yes.
Okay, this is an interesting one. I'll go with this one. Ken Shamrock told World Wrestling Federation magazine that he once lived in a blank growing up.
Once he lived in a car?
You picked the right guy, Chico.
Hey, you got it right. He lived in a car. So you
Yeah,
passed.
because he also he talked about being homeless.
Yeah. And where was he from for an extra bonus point? Where does he hail from?
Like where he had his lion dens, or where
Yeah.
he's originally from.
Yeah.
Because they used to say he's from Sacramento, but he has lion dens, I believe, in San Diego.
Yeah, my button didn't work. There it goes.
You picked the right guy, Chico.
Very good, Sexy Chino. You came in at the clutch, at the very end. You dodged the enziguri, and you hit the super kick at the very end. 6 out of 10, right? You got the win right there, pal. So let's take our final commercial break and wrap things up.
Voice speaks from the grave. You have been sentenced to eternal damnation.
A madman denies his destiny.
I've got no choice but to do something that belongs to you. Your last breath.
For the sins of all mankind, there's hell to pay.
I am going to bury you alive, and you will never rest in peace.
The Undertaker. Mankind. Buried alive. Tomorrow night on pay-per-view.
On the evening of the Sabbath.
Brought to you by PlayStation, Sexy Chino.
PlayStation.
So thanks for coming on, Sexy Chino. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to, if you want to plug something. This will release the first week of February. Want to plug something? Want to give someone a shout out? Let them know where they can find you first.
Yeah. You guys can find me at Dance Chino Dance. That is on the Twitter. I will never call it the X, and Instagram. And if you want to check out one of the live fits I really enjoy working for, Wrestling for Wrestling. That's at Wrestling for Wrestling on Instagram, or at Wrestling PW on the Twitter. Yeah, but overall, if you want to check me out, I do a lot of dancing.
There you go.
But exactly. But it's about fun, man. And if you guys check out when I'm around, I'll tell you this: when you go check out a Sexy Chino match, you're not always gonna get the same thing.
That is true, pals. And I'll put links to his stuff in the show notes if you're listening on the audio end, on the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. Wrestling, Pro Wrestling, you guys got to make the time to watch that. Run by Brian Kendrick.
Yes.
It's probably my favorite non big, it's an indie fed, it's a local fed. That thing is hilarious. That's always a fun time.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this fed is it's not just wrestling fans. It's more like clicksters, like random people that come watch. So it's just a total different atmosphere.
It's a fun time. Maybe right here I'll put a little clip of some of the wrestling so you can see what you're in store for. As for me, Retro Tiburon on all the social medias. If you want to support the podcast, you can go at retrotiburon.com. You can buy a shirt. You can leave a little donation. You can leave a voicemail if you want. You can just leave a voicemail, and I may play it. In a future episode. And then if you're listening on the audio end, I'm on YouTube, Retro Tiburon. I live stream 3 times a week. I drop the video podcast on there. I do swap meet hunt videos. I do pickup videos. So if you want to come and check out the YouTube stuff, it's at Retro Tiburon, RetroTiburon. And before we go, Sexy Chino, as I play us out with this little theme right here. Play us out with the other In Your House song. Leave us, beginning of the year, leave us with your resolution. What's your New Year's resolution, Sexy Chino?
Resolutions, a lot of people break them, right?
Yeah.
So I always go with what makes it the easiest resolution to say. Stay positive and enjoy life.
There you go. Very easy. All right, guys. See you guys. See you guys on the other side. We're out of here. We did it. Oh, let me stop recording.
You gotta stop it, man.